First of all, we agreed that there could be a maritime ceasefire and free navigation. You, in principle, know this already. In addition to what is briefly formulated in the statement, you're going to read it. We are grateful to the American side for this result. It is important that we also talked separately with the American side about infrastructure. We spent a lot of time looking at this. What is meant by this is that if there's a maritime ceasefire and free navigation, we are also talking about infrastructure. We will see how it will be implemented. We will talk about this separately with you journalists, about the details. However, what a transport if a missile hits a grain elevator? So, for example, about grain, etc. I had such a question as an example, and our side communicated with the American side. They believe that a maritime ceasefire and free navigation, free civil navigation, says everything, and that it is impossible to strike port infrastructure. It doesn't say in the statement what happens if someone violates the agreements. I understand why, because the American side really wanted all this not to fall apart. These are the first agreements. They don't want them to fall apart. That is why they did not want to go into many details. And still, we will have to understand the answers to each of the details with you. If we see that someone violates, we believe that we then appeal to the American side through all possible channels, with the facts and evidence that the Russian side violated something. We had the issue of the return of children, you remember. We had the issue of the exchange of prisoners of war and the exchange of civilians. So that's what was agreed. There will be two statements. The fifth point in our statement is that America will help us with the return of children, prisoners of war, and civilians. And the Russians will have their whatever they agreed with them. There were no questions about territories. There were no questions about the sanctions. The only thing we raised was because of the point that I told you about, second point in Russian-US statement, that we believe that this is part of easing the pressure on them, Russia, and it's not timely. As for third countries, they agreed on that. We are not against third countries participating in monitoring.